hear me? Working? Okay. Kailangan bak uli kayo yodari inda Luisi Lisalta inda Iwantastaka Kusi Sukaki Manongazian. I'm called Rich Holshoe, Chair of the Vermont Commission on Native American Affairs. It's good to see you here. Thank you for coming to this press event where we have some very happy news. This is a day of celebration, and I want to welcome you here to share it with us. We have some honored guests, which will be sharing little bits of these announcements with you, and it's a good day. I'm going to, why are we here? Well, Vermont Commission on Native American Affairs and the Abenaki Alliance be present here with our other communities. We need to share our own voices. There's been other voices that have been heard recently that have been loud and are frankly out of line. And we need to speak our own minds and our own voices here with our own hearts in our own places. We're here. You're here. Thank you. I want to introduce our first guest, Lieutenant Governor David Zuckerman, who will be reading Governor Philip Scott's resolution that proclaims this week for the 5th year in a row as Abenaki Recognition and Heritage Week, May 1 through 7. David, please share that with us.
Thank you, Rich. And I'm someone who can see up close. I just can't see far away. I'm the opposite of most. I'm glad to be here today to represent the administration for opening up and recognizing Abenaki Recognition and Heritage Week. I was in the legislature when many of the bills went through to finally create recognition as well. And certainly my office has always been and will always be open to folks visiting the State House if you need a place to gather your thoughts before either presentations such as this or testifying in committees or other events if you need a place to gather. On behalf of the administration, I'm going to read the Governor's Proclamation, State of Vermont Executive Department Proclamation. Whereas Abenaki Recognition and Heritage Week provides an opportunity to celebrate the heritage and the many contributions of the Abenaki to present-day Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and New York. And whereas Vermont acknowledges and condemns the legal, humanitarian, and social harms imposed upon the Abenaki community in the land now known as Vermont, as well as those harms suffered by the Indigenous communities in the United States. And whereas, after decades of advocacy, the Abenaki communities in Vermont successfully gained state recognition as Native American Indian tribes in 2010 with the signing of Act Number 107 of 2010, an act relating to state recognition of Native American Indian tribes in Vermont. And whereas there are now 4 state-recognized Native American Indian tribes in Vermont, the Elnu Abenaki tribe, the Nulhegan Band of the Cossack Abenaki Nation, the Kawassak Abenaki of the Coas, and the Missisquoi of St. Francis Sokoke Band. And whereas today, the rich legacy of the Abenaki is celebrated through arts and cultural offerings, as well as through state and local policy that aims to address the needs and challenges of the Abenaki community in Vermont, including Abenaki people not affiliated with the state-recognized Native American Indian tribes. And whereas through mutual honor and respect for the rich heritage of the state's Indigenous people, this week we honor the culture and traditions of Vermont's Abenaki communities. Now therefore, I, Philip B. Scott, Governor, hereby proclaim May 1st through 7th, 2023 as Abenaki Recognition and Heritage Week in Vermont. Thank you.
Good evening, David, and thank you to the Governor as well. This, folks, is Sweetgrass. We're here in peace, we're here in a good way, and that's how we want it to be going forward. Before I introduce our next speakers, I want to highlight that the Vermont House of Representatives this morning at about 10:20 or so passed a unanimous resolution in affirmation of the Abenaki people here, and we're happy to announce that as well. The Vermont Senate will be taking similar action on Thursday, I am told. Our next speakers are representatives from the full Vermont U.S. congressional delegation who will be sharing an announcement with us as well. I'd like you to welcome Haley Perrow from Senator Sanders' office, Rebecca Ellis from Senator Welch's office, and David Scher from Congressman Becca Balint's office. Rebecca is my next door neighbor, my good friend, and I'm glad that she's with us as well, so thank you and welcome.
On behalf of Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Peter Welch, and Representative Becca Balint, I'd like to read the following statement, which was issued as a delegation in commemoration of Abenaki Recognition and Heritage Week, which begins Monday, May 1st. It reads, "It is with great honor and respect that we come together to celebrate Abenaki Recognition and Heritage Week, the centuries-old culture and rich heritage of the Abenaki people, and the descendants of the Western Abenaki tribes that originally inhabited the land we now call Vermont. We owe the Abenaki people of Vermont and the Indigenous tribes across the country an enormous debt, one that will never be repaid. Today, we're incredibly fortunate that the four bands of Vermont, the Elnu Abenaki tribe, the Mohegan Band of the Cusec Abenaki Nation, the Coasec Abenaki of the Coas, and the Missisquoi St. Francis Coqui Band, have preserved and continue to share their traditions, from their art and music to their dedicated stewardship of their traditional homeland. During this week of recognition and celebration and every day, we are honored to stand with the Abenaki tribes of Vermont and Indigenous peoples all across the country."
Thank you, delegation. Haley, Rebecca, and David. A lot of names. And thank you to the delegation as well. I would next like to introduce Rod Smola, who is president of Vermont Law and Graduate School, who also has an announcement to share with us. Rod.
Thank you. Can you guess that I'm the lawyer in the room? I'm the one guy wearing a bow tie. I'm here on behalf of the Vermont Law and Graduate School to express our friendship and our support in a very palpable way for the Abenaki people of Vermont. This is a cause close to me personally. When I was a younger lawyer, I lived in Virginia, where I represented the Virginia tribes. And now I'm privileged to live here. And I want personally, and I want for our school, to reach out in every way we can to be supportive to the Abenaki, to be supportive as an educational resource, and to be supportive as a legal resource. When I came to the school, I was surprised to learn that the school had long had a scholarship for Indigenous students, but it was limited to citizens of federally recognized tribes, and it was focused only on environmental matters. And I'm pleased to announce, as of today, we have changed that. It is now scholarship support eligible for any Indigenous person, including the citizens of the Abenaki and the state-recognized tribes. But if I can whisper something in your ear, we want the Abenaki students to come to the Vermont Law and Graduate School. That's the purpose of the switch. And I'll be looking forward to meeting with folks, talking to the students, to the young people in the tribes, to get them to think about the possibility of careers in law or careers in the other programs that we offer that can be helpful to them. And this scholarship support will help make that possible. And I've also reached out to the leaders of the tribes to say, I want to sit down with you this summer and talk about the legal needs of the folks here and what we can do through our clinics and other resources to help meet many of those legal needs. So it's an honor to be here on this week of recognition of this wonderful heritage, and I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful and long-lasting friendship. Thank you all.
Next up is going to be Jeff Benet, who serves on the Vermont Commission on Native American Affairs, which I'm chairing currently, and it's an honor to be in that position. Jeff has been told that he's only going to speak for 3 minutes. We know that's a challenge. I just want to put out there on behalf of the commission before Jeff comes up that we are very active. We're busy. We have a lot of work ahead of us. We have good work to do. We are in a position of honor to be able to carry that forward with all of you on behalf of the communities. One of the things I just wanted to mention was we recently put out affirmations and statements in support of things on a bigger scale. The launch of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in this state. This is a big deal, folks. We're going to start talking together in a very serious and face-to-face, humane manner, as we should. This is the House of the People. We are some of those people, and we all need to be in this together, find a way to move forward. Also, recently, the Vatican issued a statement in repudiation of the doctrine of discovery. For what that is worth, words need to be followed by actions, but it's kind of a big deal. It's where all of this starts. This legal system that we operate in today comes from that original non-separation of church and state, and we need to engage with that as well. Without further ado, Jeff, please.
When I first got onto the commission, it was called the Governor's Advisory Commission on Native American Affairs. I was the first appointee. I served under Howard Dean for 5 terms, under Governor Douglas for 3 terms, under Peter Shumlin, and now I do serve under Governor Scott. I'm wearing something, people can't see it, but this says St. Francis the Governor. Many, many years ago, Homer St. Francis, then chief of Missisquoi, ran for governor. Now, a lot of people thought that was a joke, that he was just doing this to be funny. It wasn't. It wasn't a joke. He wasn't doing it to be funny. 35 years ago, when we started, there was no relationship that existed between the Abenaki and the state of Vermont. I was the liaison between the Abenaki and the state. Nothing got done officially. It was never that Governor Dean would deal directly with the tribal council. It was Governor Dean had something to say, it would come through me, and then I would relay it to the tribal council. We've come a long, long way, and it's because of people like Homer St. Francis, Nancy Cote, Blackie Lemon, the people that are no longer with us. These are the people, the visionaries, who first said, as he did, we're Abenaki, we're proud of it, and we're going nowhere. This is our land, and it always has been. To make that statement back then was a brave thing. It was fearless, but he made that statement, as did others. So when we look today at where we've come from 35 years ago, it's not that long ago, 35 years ago to today, where only a couple of weeks ago we met as a commission with the governor, and we're very excited about the relationship that we have with the governor. I think this bodes very, very well, not just for the Abenaki, but for all Vermonters as we celebrate diversity. But keep in mind, the Abenaki are the original Vermonters. Thanks.
We're going to wrap this up right now. I think we've shared plenty of good news. Send us home in a good way. There will be more. You'll be hearing more from us. Been here a long time and not going anywhere. So keep your eyes open and your ears peeled. We have availability for the press if they want interviews or anyone else has questions afterwards for a little while. We're going to try to wrap up. I hear applause out there. It sounds like the training in the House is over, maybe. The representatives that we've been working with have not been able to be here because of that, but we give them our gratitude. We recognize that recognition as a word is a political designation. There are many such designations. State recognition for us is important in that it affirms our relationship with the structure that is here now through no choice of anyone else. But it's here, and this is the world we live in. This is the water we swim in. We have to navigate it as best as we can. We do have our own voices and our own views, our own values, and we're happy to share those. We're happy to maintain those, carry them forward for our ancestors, whoever they were and wherever they came from. We are all the product of many grandmothers and grandfathers, and we should honor all of them. And we need to work with everyone who's here now. So thank our guests for these affirmations, for the collaboration and partnerships that we're going to have.